As photographers, videographers, cinematographers, we talk a lot about shooting, and it's become just the common phrase that we use all the time. You got to shoot this, you got to shoot that, shoot, 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 shoot. But how often do we think about shooting as an actual shooter would in a video game where you get to pick your class? And this came to mind as an analogy. I don't know why it came up as I was making some content the other day, thinking about the different ways you can approach content creation, capturing, and shooting. Because in a video game, when you pick your class, there's a lot of different ways that you can be a shooter. There's plenty of different guns that you can use for, sorry if you don't like the analogy, but it just came to mind. There's the shotgun, there's the sniper, there's the assault rifle, there's the pistol, there's the rocket launcher or the bazooka, there's the machine gun. There's so many different ways that you can shoot the enemy or whatever your goal is in the video game. And yet in real life, we just talk about shooting, shooting, shooting. Except I think this is actually kind of helpful if you think about shooting in this way. Sort of, kind of different, kind of strange. Go with me here. But let's say you're creating content for social media. There's different approaches you can take. There's content in kind of like the shotgun blast approach of I'm going to go in, I'm going to shoot just like as much as I can, just kind of get it in a burst and be done with it. And then there's other times where you can take more of like a tactical sniper approach where you're going for a very specific piece of content and you're going to really use all your talent, your skill. You're going to be very precise with that video or that photo that you're shooting, and you're really going to take your time and get it. And guess what? Both approaches are valuable. I think this gets lost a lot of times when we talk about shooting either photos or videos where there's there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And I think that's not true. I think it's just different classes. And in terms of the class, your ability that you choose the hat you're wearing for that day or for that hour, and you can always shift, you can always change. There are some times where it's valuable to have the pistol equivalent where it's your smartphone or it's just your cheap, point and shoot camera, and it kind of gets the job done because sometimes that's what you need. You need something small, you need something portable and just, quick. And then there's other times where you need the bigger, more expensive, high-end cinema camera, your Aris, your Reds, your Blackmagics, your Sony, cinema line. That's maybe more like a rocket launcher or a bazooka where you're, really going all out for one piece. But the truth is, there is no one size fits all. You can't always shoot with the bazooka. You can't always shoot with the pistol. Sometimes you need the shotgun or the sniper or your assault rifle, whatever it might be. So to break away from the video game analogy and from the gun analogy and just talk about creating content, this is something that I like to do. Think about what type of content do I need to make? What's the right tool for the job? And even with the same camera, I can treat it slightly differently. So even if it's my one camera that I have, I can take a more shotgun approach to capturing content and just getting a lot of it, getting as much as I can on one day. And then maybe another day, I can take more of a sniper approach and be more tactical, more strategic, more precise. I'll probably get less content, but maybe that content will be better. Maybe it'll perform better. But the truth is, you don't actually know until you do it and you put it out there and you see the reaction. There's plenty of times where I've just grabbed a quick piece of content, kind of in that like pistol analogy, that approach, where it's just like grab something, whatever, it gets posted on social media, and that's the one that performs. There's other times where I've tried to be more of like that sniper, where I'm really using all my skills and precision to make something perfect, and it underperforms. So you have to do a little bit of both. You have to spread the net kind of wide. And the truth is there's something for everyone, and every class kind of matters. There's room for all of it. If everything on social media were just Ari Alexas, well, that's not, you clearly see that that's not the case. What performs most? A lot of times it's smartphone content. But then you also see the content creators who do use a DSLR or some kind of hybrid mirrorless camera, and they light it and it looks good and it sounds good, and that also performs well too from time to time. It all can work, and you can change your own mindset down to the hour of the day of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Not saying, well, this is the one way I do it. You might have your preference. You might be really good at one class of content creation, but the more you can mix and match and add variety when necessary. A lot of times when clients are just getting started off, or you're just getting started off, if you're trying to start your own channel or do your own profile or whatever it might be, sometimes at the beginning you need a lot more then you have the time to take to be very precise with just one piece of content. If you need something every single day, which in today's social media landscape, that's kind of the demand, you need a lot of content. So to get started, maybe you need a bunch of something. So you just kind of get as much as you can. But you can't do that forever. You can't just keep randomly spraying and praying and hoping you get something good out of it. At a certain point, you have to be a little bit more tactical. You have to be a little bit more strategic. You might have to try a little bit harder for something in particular. And that's good. You can do both. There is no one size fits all, like, oh, this one type is the only way it works. Because if you just watch social media, if you consume content, you'll see there's plenty of styles that can work. There's plenty of ways to do it. You can do the low effort, low hanging fruit, and that can get millions of views. And you can do the high effort, high risk, high reward. That can get millions of views as well. If you do both and you leave yourself open to being creative, you can actually check all those boxes yourself, probably with like one camera, maybe two cameras. You don't always need a lot in the technology gear department to just have this mentality, because it's more of the approach. It's how you're doing it. Does everything need to be perfectly lit? Probably not. There's plenty of influencers who aren't lighting anything at all. And then there's other ones who do spend time lighting and making it look good. Why not do both? Leave yourself open to doing both. So the days where you're just trying to get a lot done, you can be more economical with your setups. You can do a little bit more of the spray and pray. You can be a little bit more candid, a little bit more loose, a little bit more imperfect. And then there's other days where you might have the time and you want to dedicate a whole day to one video, and you can spend the effort making it look its best, sound its best. Everything can be as perfect as you can make it. Leave room for both. Try it all out. Find the middle ground in between the two. It's also not a black or white, yes or no, 1 or 0 situation. There's gray room in between where you can try a little bit, you can try more, you can try less. There's room for all of it, and all can be successful. Because frankly, it's up to the algorithm. You have no say. You could try your hardest making it absolutely perfect, and it could get 10 views. You could not care, and it might get 100 views. You could take the middle of the road, try a little bit, not so much, whatever. Just make it good enough, and that could get 1 million views. You never know until it's out there. And so I don't think you should ever pigeonhole yourself into this is the only way to do it. It has to be this, or I'm not going to do it at all. I just don't see that being all that productive. I don't know what you gain by being so restrictive to one class. If you go back to the video game analogy, you can win a match as a sniper, with a shotgun, with a pistol, with whatever. It's usually the player behind it. And most players can play multiple classes if they're really good at what they do, because it's understanding the class, understanding how it works, how it performs. You're not going to treat a shotgun like you're going to treat a sniper, like you're going to treat a pistol. You're going to play differently with each, but you can still win. You can still be successful. They all can work if you have the brains behind it to use it to its fullest, to understand how to do the shotgun approach, but at the same time, know how to be a sniper, know how to use your pistol. If it's instantaneous in the moment, you just need to get something done real quick, pull it out, get the content and go. Sometimes you have to react that quick because it's happening once, and if you miss it, it's done. So you can't be the person that says, oh, hold on, let me get 30 minutes. I got to build my camera. I got to get my easy rig out. Oh, I've got to get my matte box on. I got to do all this stuff before I can shoot, because it might be happening, and by the time you're ready, it's gone. Oh, let me change my battery. Oh, let me go get... It might be too... But other times, it might be worth that level of effort, spending 30 minutes setting up the camera to get the perfect, most beautiful shot. Both work, just like in the video game. All the classes serve their purpose. They all have a function. They all can win. They can all be successful. And the same is true for content production. You can go big and win. You can go small and win. You can go medium and win. It all can work. And the more you can be flexible and adapt to what's appropriate for the situation, the more success you'll find.